Hello, Stampin' Buddies! Late Night Lori. Coming to you from Lori's Little Bit of Crafting. It is Sunday just before midnight, February 2nd, 2025. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and I am going to bring you, hopefully, what would be a very short video, but with a really cute card. I saw something similar that somebody had posted, and I don't know if you're familiar with the term case, but it stands for, one of the things it stands for is copy and share everything, or copy and slightly edit. So I'm going to be slightly editing that. I am going to use this heart-shaped bundle that I got for a celebration reward. This set is available with a qualified purchase from the biggest sale of the year for Stampin' Up!, which is Celebration. If you've been watching me recently, you've seen me talk about that before, but I'm also using, again, this embossing folder, the Adoring Hearts. It's a hybrid embossing folder. So the embossing folder and the dies come as a set. And the die piece here fits right into a channel here. You put your paper in there, your cardstock, whatever, fold it up, flip it over, and put the fold side in your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and you get all 9 hearts cut out all at once and embossed at the same time. Talk about time saving. And the negative basically gives you a really cute little heart pattern. So I've already done that part of it. Here are some other hearts that you can just use to die cut. Or you can use this just to emboss the hearts in the background. All right. So this is going to get put out of our way. So I already cut a bunch of hearts. These are some leftovers from a previous project that I did the other day. You might remember these little cards. Well, not that one, but these were done with this bundle and a paper pumpkin add-on. But we're just going to do some basic supplies here. And I wanted to pull in my little hearts because I think we'll use those. So to start with, I have a thick basic white base, 8.5, 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, folded, burnished with my bone folder. I'll burnish it a little bit more so it lays a little flatter. You can set that aside. And then I have another layer that is 4 by 5 1/4. Okay. And that's going to go right on here. I'm kind of doing this as a monochromatic with a twist. Okay. And you'll see that when I go to use this. All right. So I haven't decided if I want this layered. I think I do. Yes, I do. I couldn't decide there for a second. So, and if I don't like it, I can always make another one, right? And you've seen me do this before where I'm just cutting around the edges because those pieces of dimensionals are just as useful as the ones that are hexagons. So I'm just going to put this in the corners because that'll just give us, maybe I'll do it on the sides too, the long sides. Give it a little lift. And my thumbs are really cracked today, so I apologize for the unsightly Band-Aids. But you got to do what you got to do. I didn't want my skin to crack open and then make a mess on my white card, right? That would not be fun. So hopefully everybody has had a good weekend. Apparently Punxsutawney Phil said we're going to have more winter, which is not surprising since that's what the calendar says. But I also read that apparently he's only been correct about 35% of the time since he's been doing the calling of the season. So we'll see what happens. I figure it's going to do what it's going to do, right? All right, so let's just set this little layer on. And if I have, let's say there's like a little ridge here where it didn't go exactly even, I'm going to put the wider side on the top so that you can't see those edges. But this one really doesn't seem to have a problem here. That looks pretty good. So then with these hearts, these I just did with our basic white. I didn't use thick for this. But that die will cut out 9 of them. All right, so you basically get 3 of each design. So I did an extra cut. I guess we're gonna go like this. And like this. And here. We're gonna just kind of make a symmetrical pattern. And we're going to glue those down. Because they've got enough texture, I don't really need to raise them. Okay. So those are going to get glued here. I am going to do the corners first. Because that'll help give me just kind of a baseline to line up the middle ones. And then what I might end up doing is lining up my base so that I can see where like the center of the hearts needs to go. So we'll just use some glue here. Hopefully this will go quick. But we're going to do point to point. And the nice thing about the Tombow glue, you've heard me say it before, this multi-purpose liquid glue does give you a little bit of wiggle room. So if you're not quite set, you do have a chance to shift it a little bit if you're quick enough. Okay. I guess I'll do a little bit more. That should be good. I had a busy day today. My granddaughter was here. I was getting ready for a team meeting with my team leader. We had a good time. And I got some, I do sourdough bread. So I had my sourdough fed and ready to make some rolls. So I got that ready so that it was rising while I was in my meeting. And let's, I think that'll be the center there. And that'll kind of be the center there, I think. I got 5 1/4, 4 1/4, 4 1/8. So right about there. So that one's lined up pretty good. That one's lined up, was pretty good. So let's go ahead and stick these down before I bump them and move them again. Oh, and then when I came home, I made some stew. And stew in my cast iron cookware is usually really good. I ran out of some broth and I ended up using some chicken broth, which I don't usually do, but I didn't want to use just water. And I probably should have just used water to hydrate a little bit more because it got really salty. So I'll see if I can fix it either with like more potatoes to absorb it or maybe put some more water and make more gravy or something. We'll see. But that's on the agenda for tomorrow, not today. But I did get my rolls baked. They were pretty good. All right, so there's that. All right, so that's our monochromatic layer. And look at what I did. But it doesn't really matter because it's the same right side up and upside down. Ha! Phew! All right, so the other thing that I'm going to do then is I am going to put a couple of hearts using this die. I just love this. And I really like them interlocked too. So if you take the inside of one and the outside of the other, I think that's just such a slick look. So what I'm going to do with this set is I'm going to snip one. And I am going to make them interlocking hearts. And we'll put that up like that, I guess. Let's see. I wanted them intertwined. And for anybody who knows me and my husband, the red would signify me and my career path, which by the time I retired was related to fire and EMS. And he is retired law enforcement. So there we get the red and the blue. So I'm going to put those on there, and then I am going to use the sentiment from here that says, "My heart loves your heart." And I'm just going to do that on this label die. And I'm just going to do it in our Memento Black. And it's just a very thin lined, clean stamp, or a font rather. And let's see how good it looks. I did one ahead of time just in case this one didn't turn out, so that you wouldn't have to wait for me. Oh, that turned out really good. Phew. So that you wouldn't have to wait for me to recut another piece, but didn't have to worry about it. All right, so this is going to go somewhere here. This heart is going to cover up where they're interlocking, and I'd actually like to make it so you could see that they're interlocking, because we can just make that leaf kind of cover that up. Maybe I'll put this like here. What do you think? And then on the inside, it's monochromatic as well. And I will probably just glue one or two of these on the inside. So what do you think? That was actually pretty fast, right? I mean, the longest task would basically be to run that die cut through your machine once, maybe twice, to get your hearts. I've only got 8 hearts on here. You get 9 to choose from. So you could randomize them with those 9. I didn't end up using these. This was for a different project. And then a couple of die cuts for these hearts, so I could make my interlocking hearts, and a little strip for my sentiment. And I'm done. The only other thing that I'll decide if I want to do, and I kind of like the clean look of this, and I'm not sure if I like these. So I think what I may end up doing is maybe just using some pearlized white, and I'll put some embellishments on with this. This is kind of slow to dry, so you've seen me do this before perhaps, but I'll do a little bit on here. So basically, this is a bottle of embellishments, okay? So all you do is you have your bottle kind of upright, you squeeze your embellishment, and you lift it off of there, and you let it dry. The bigger your little bauble, the bigger your embellishment will be. If they have a little tip, it doesn't really matter. So I don't know if you can see that on here, but it has a little tip. But as it sits and you let it dry, probably for like at least half an hour, they usually settle down and get just a nice, it looks like one of the regular pearls. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing on here. I don't think I will use these little pieces because this is a different color and this doesn't really need to be on here. This has enough going on there, but I think it's still subtle enough because it's mostly white on white. So that's what I have for you tonight. Let me know what you think of the card. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you really like it, you could always share my video. I'm trying to get some more followers. That helps my analytics with Meta and the other platforms that I try to share this to. And I appreciate the exposure. So thanks for stopping by and watching. Happy stamping!